Bilal Muhammad's voice cracked through Instagram like a slap.
Ian Garry out here trying to do Conor cosplay with Dollar Tree trash talk. Bro, your lines hit softer than your jab. You sound like a teenager who just discovered McGregor highlight reels. You want to outbox me? Try out talking me. First, without embarrassing yourself. Until then, go back to rehearsing in the mirror. Maybe one day your trash talk will be as sharp as your barber's fade.
The clip was barely a minute long, but every line felt dipped in battery acid. He called Ian Garry Dollar Tree McGregor, mocked his mirror-practiced trash talk, and promised to humble him in Chicago. Bilal's followers roared in the comments. Gary's diehards fired back just as hard. Within hours, Ian dropped his own rebuttal, calm, unblinking, that faint Dublin lilt sharpening his words.
Bilal Muhammad is continuing to call out Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman has said himself that he's not fighting anytime soon. So why does he keep calling him out? Because he's avoiding me. He's now started to mention Sean Brady's name again, a man who he's already knocked out. Imagine calling out someone you've already knocked out. Here's the truth. Had Bilal beat JDM, he would be fighting me in his hometown of Chicago. So do the right thing. Don't let your hometown down and accept the fight in Chicago. I'll see you soon.
He claimed Bilal was ducking him and Sean Brady, insisted he'd said yes to both, and asked fans which fight they wanted first. The polls split almost 50-50. Chicago's United Center is already on standby, yet nobody knows if that octagon will echo with cheers or boos when the first jab lands. But that was only the opening jab of a week soaked in rivalry. Dustin Poirier's training footage hit social like a cinematic trailer. Sweat flew, pads thundered, and his coaches yelled crisp commands, while the Diamond drilled looping combos meant for Max Holloway's chin. This isn't their first dance. The two have traded leather twice before, but UFC 318 feels different. Holloway's recent stretch run at lightweight has people whispering about speed disadvantages. Poirier's seen as the heavier hitter, yet Max's volume never dies. Analysts argue whether Dustin's calf kick blitz will chop Holloway down, or if Max's relentless rhythm will drown him. In the gym clip, though, Poirier's eyes said everything. No smile, no wink, only predator focus. Fans replayed a slow-motion body rip from the reel more than 1 million times in the first 12 hours, convinced that single shot foreshadows a stoppage. The Cajun onslaught might come early, but the Island Storm will answer. The kind of collision that makes Fight of the Year lists before round 2 even starts. And just when you're sure you've picked a winner, you remember these two share a history of wrinkles, pivots, and momentum earthquakes. Yet legacy isn't the only weight hanging over 318. Renato Moicano. Moicano sat on a podcast couch and blurted a challenge almost nobody saw coming.
The oldest guy on the division, brother.
Who's the oldest guy?
Not Dariush?
Michael Chandler,
Michael
bro.
Chandler, my brother. I think that fight makes a lot of sense.
There's not a better time for that fight right now.
That is not a better time.
Yeah.
That is not a better time for the fight. I have been talking shit for Chandler for so long.
Yeah.
And if I lose to him, brother, I will have to kill myself. That's the I think that's a
How about this, bro? Renato Moicano versus Michael Chandler, loser retires.
100%. Sign the contract, my brother.
Loser retires, loser walks. He wants Michael Chandler under a stipulation that feels ripped from old-school Vail Tudo stakes. Why now? Moicano claims Chandler is the oldest shark left in the tank, and that waiting any longer will spoil the drama. Chandler, ever the company man, hasn't inked a signature, but he has liked tweets that mention career betting. Fans spun theories instantly. Both men fight like they're allergic to boring minutes. Both own highlight reel chaos. Both have miles on the odometer. A retirement clause jacks the tension beyond rankings. Suddenly, every feint, every slip, is a cliff edge moment. If the bout materializes, ticket sales will detonate. If it collapses, Moicano still forced Chandler's hand in the public square and branded himself as the division's mad poet. Either way, someone's sunset might be scheduled before summer melts. Career doors threaten to slam shut, but at flyweight, a gate might be swinging wide open. Joshua Van, 23, sipped water in a quiet gym corner, while reporters circled like gulls. People say I'm not ready, he shrugged, but who's going to hold me down? He hasn't tasted UFC gold, yet his confidence sounds less hype and more prophecy. Van outlined how every past opponent who shot a takedown felt his hips sprawl and then his fists answer. He reminded everyone he beat a man who mauled most of the division, Brandon Royval, by dictating range and beating him to the trigger. He confessed he hates hugging another man in the cage, so the public seldom sees his grappling. but assured skeptics it lurks in his back pocket. Then came the kicker. What are they going to say when I win the belt? The quote splashed across timelines, meme pages, and even a Brazilian talk show. Love him or doubt him, the clock is ticking toward a collision with Alexandre Pantoja. If Van's hands really can erase the champ's scramble-heavy blueprint, a new era might dawn while half the world still calls him green. Confidence like that ignites pound-for-pound debates, and nobody's hotter than the Georgian hurricane. Ilia Topuria's roar has echoed through 3 divisions, and Daniel Cormier just crowned him pound-for-pound king.
By Ilia becoming the lightweight champion, he's pound-for-pound #1.
Absolutely. When you look at his strength of schedule, when you look at the guys that he's beaten, he was already, even without the Charles Oliveira win, first-round knockout, solidifies Ilia Topuria as the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, no doubt about it.
It was expected that Ilia would beat Charles Oliveira, so that has no bearing. I must say this, I agree. I think pound for pound does your fighting style translate weight classes? By knocking out Volkanovski, by knocking out Holloway, his fighting style is effective at 145. Before he started as a bantamweight, it was effective there because he's undefeated.
His technique is so clean that when he's hitting guys and he's hitting them right on the spot, they can't hold up.
DC's logic felt bulletproof. Ilia's carried knockout thunder from bantam to feather to lightweight, slept legends in each class and never lost. But not everyone is gifting the throne.
You got winning that fight between Topuria and Oliveira, and who would you rather fight for the belt?
I don't care who wins. I just want to fight the winner. Topuria's, the big name right now, cocky. I would love to knock him out, but Oliveira beat me, so I want to fight him again. I don't give a fuck who wins. I hope one of them is put to sleep, and I get to fight the winner in November in Madison Square Garden.
Meanwhile, Ilia posted a quiet training clip of head movement drills with no caption, just the smirk of a man who reads criticism like bedtime stories. Odds makers can't pick a favorite if that matchup lands at MSG in November. All we know is that gaudy, unbeaten record feels heavy, and Gaethje swings like a man who can drop an anvil on history at any second. Dan Henderson cracked a grin on the Overdogs podcast and revealed he once told Sean Strickland, "You gotta go. Too much in-room meat grinder, too much online sniping," he said. Gym culture mattered.
Tell me about Sean Strickland, and are you proud to see where he is now?
I'm extremely happy that he, kind of has achieved the goals that he had, for sure. He's a different guy, for sure, and he does talk a lot and say some different things, but, I loved having him in the room. He would fight every day in practice and, piss some guys off. And eventually he just started talking way too much shit about teammates socially. So we kind of had to warn him a bunch of times and finally just, kind of said, if you can't stop it, you might have to leave.
Within hours, Strickland fired back on social. None of it true, team fell apart. He left after membership expired. And just to twist the knife, Sean mocked Henderson's squad for doing yoga instead of sparring. The posts split comment sections into rival camps. Old guard respect versus raw, blunt honesty. Was Strickland the disruptive genius who keeps partners on edge? Or the reckless bull who steamrolls etiquette? Henderson calling him a good training partner who just went too far adds nuance, but nuance rarely wins Twitter arguments. The real question hangs heavier. Where will Strickland train next, and how many sparring rounds end in black eyes because of this very story? All week long, the MMA universe spun on these axes. Ego, future, redemption. But the fuse is still burning. Drop your takes below. Smash subscribe, slap the bell so the algorithm never tucks you into obscurity, and keep those knuckles taped, because the next wave of chaos is already rumbling backstage, and you won't want to miss that first boom. Stay sharp, stay savage, and I'll catch you in the feed.